The news.
Simon Powanga with the news at 12:30. The headlines. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has started drafting the Foreign Service Bill. Indeni Petroleum Refinery Company in Ndola has resumed operations. The Islamic community in Zambia is angered by Forum for Democracy and Development FDD President Edith Nawakwi for allegedly insulting President Lungu and dragging Muslim women into politics. In foreign news, security is being stepped up in major European cities ahead of New Year celebrations, with officials wary of possible terror plots. In sports news, Zambia's 2016 Chan opponents Zimbabwe have secured a pre-tournament friendly. And now the news in detail. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has started drafting the Foreign Service Bill to establish a career foreign service. Ministry of Foreign Affairs Permanent Secretary Charles Lombe has said. In a statement issued yesterday, Mr. Lombe said that the Foreign Service Bill is a constitutional document that will form policy on the implementation and management of career foreign service. He said that the Foreign Service Act will, among other things, require that career diplomats are appointed into the Foreign Service. Mr. Lombe said that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, with other stakeholders, will study the Foreign Service legislation from other countries such as Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and South Africa to learn best practices. The bill will sum up the structure, conduct, and the means by which the country will conduct diplomacy and international relations. It will also form a clear direction and standard of a career foreign service. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is collaborating with the Ministries of Finance and Justice, as well as other stakeholders in the drafting of the bill. Government says that the issue of the Barossa Land Agreement of 1964 will be resolved once President Edgar Lungu assents to the constitution bills Parliament passed recently. Chief Government spokesperson Chishimba Kambwili says, as far as government is concerned, once the constitution bills become law, Barossa Land will continue to remain integral part of Zambia. Mr. Kambwili states that no one submitted to the contrary, that Barossa Land remains part of Zambia during the constitution review process. He says that this entails that Barossa Land Agreement of 1964 is no longer an issue. Mr. Kambwili, however, notes that what the people of Western Province want is a fair share of the national development agenda. He says that the Patriotic Front PF is in this case committed to taking development to Western Province as a share way of resolving the Barossa Land Agreement issue. Indeni Petroleum Refinery Company in Ndola has resumed operations after last month's routine maintenance shutdown. Managing Director Mebino says the plant's reliability is now above 95% to produce diesel, petrol, kerosene and liquid petroleum gas LPG, and that the plant is now feeding into the Tazama pipeline terminal. Mr. Noel said that this yesterday after a tour of the plant by Copperbelt Permanent Secretary Howard Sikwela. The plant was closed on November 15th for maintenance. He said that the shutdown was done in two phases, with the diesel component shutting down for 2 weeks until December 1st when the start-up of the plant began. The petrol component resumed operations on December 24th, making the entire plant fully operational. Mr. Noel, however, said that the complete value of rehabilitation works that have been done will be given once the rehabilitation report has been done. And Mr. Sikwela commended Indeni management for the maintenance conducted at the plant during the shutdown. Reverend Sikwela assured the nation of sufficient fuel stocks. Government says it has delivered both compound D and urea fertilizers to all districts across the country. Agriculture Minister Given Lubinda has confirmed the development. Mr. Lubinda says that though the exercise has faced hiccups, the progress of delivering the inputs has been successful as most farmers have received them on time. He says that this is considering that in the previous years, the inputs were in some cases reaching the farmers as late as February, which denied farmers enough time to plan well for the farming season. He adds that now that farmers have received fertilizers and maize seed, the onus is on them to ensure that they do their level best. Mr. Lubinda is, however, disappointed with the slow pace at which agro dealers awarded contracts to deliver seed to farmers. He says the seed suppliers have not yet delivered groundnuts and soybeans seeds to the farmers. The agriculture minister says government has learned lessons and will be cautious in future in the awarding of such contracts. People's Democratic Party (PDP) President George Mpombo has noted the need for government to create a leveled playing field for all political parties ahead of the 2016 general election. Dr. Mpombo hopes that government will not use the Public Order Act to suppress political activities of opposition political parties during the period leading to the election time. He has cautioned the government to be mindful that for any election to be considered free and fair, the period leading to the election matters most. He says that this means that stakeholders will be on the lookout to see how government will create a level playing field for all political players ahead of the elections. In an interview, Dr. Mpombo has also noted that the need for all political parties to rally against political violence during this period. Dr. Mpombo states that political violence undermines political credibility of a country and its democratic benchmarks. He says that it is therefore expected that all political activities in the run-up to the 2016 general election will be issue-based. The Islamic community in Zambia is angered by Forum for Democracy and Development FDD President Edith Nawakwi for allegedly insulting President Lungu and dragging Muslim women into politics. Supreme Leader Sheikh Idrissa Hashim Ali said Ms. Nawakwi should learn to respect leaders regardless of their political affiliation. The Islamic leader said that it is against their religion for Ms. Nawakwi to insult the head of state and drag Muslim women into politics. Ms. Nawakwi has been issuing her meetings with Islamic women into cast aspersions on the president. Nigerian government is ready for Boko Haram negotiations. This and other stories coming up after the break.
91.7 FM, Radio Chimoyo, a joyous voice.
Nigerian government confirms are ready for Boko Haram negotiations. President Buhari says the government are prepared to negotiate, but only if Boko Haram can identify a credible leadership. Nigeria's President Muhammad Buhari has said he is ready to negotiate with Boko Haram for the release of more than 200 girls kidnapped in April last year. In a televised press conference yesterday, Buhari said that if the armed group could identify a credible leadership, then the Nigerian government was prepared to negotiate with them without any preconditions. Boko Haram snatched the girls from dormitories in the northeastern town of Chibok in April 2014, sparking international condemnation of former President Goodluck Jonathan's government and military for failing to rescue them. Security is being stepped up in major European cities ahead of New Year celebrations, with officials wary of possible terror plots. New Year fireworks and festivities have been cancelled in the Belgian capital, Brussels, because of an alert. Extra measures will also be in place in cities including Paris, London, Belgium, Berlin, and Moscow. Meanwhile, in Turkey, security services say they have laid down a major plot to attack celebrations in Ankara. Belgium Prime Minister Charles Michel said that the Brussels decision had been taken given information they received. Last year, 100,000 people turned out in Brussels to welcome the New Year's Eve. Earlier in this week, police arrested 2 people suspected of planning attacks during the festive season and seized the propaganda for so-called Islamic State IS, as well as military clothing and computer equipment. Belgium has been on high alert since the terror attacks of 13th November in Paris. Several of the perpetrators are thought to have been based in Belgium. And in sports news, Zambia's 2016 China opponents Zimbabwe have secured a pre-tournament friendly. The Warriors will face Mozambique at a date to be announced. Zimbabwe's friendly come after an initial warm-up match against Cameroon fell through. Zambia will face Zimbabwe in both sides opening Group D match on January 19th at the tournament. Rwanda will host from January 16th to February 7th. Mali and Uganda are the other teams in Group D. To end the news at 12:30, the headlines once again. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has started drafting the Foreign Service Bill. Indene Petroleum Refinery Company in Ndola has resumed operations. The Islamic community in Zambia is angered by Forum for Democracy and Development FDD President Edith Nawakwi for allegedly insulting President Lungu and dragging Muslim women into politics. In foreign news, security is being stepped up in major European cities ahead of New Year celebrations, with officials wary of possible terror plots. And finally, in sports news, Zambia's 2016 Chan opponents Zimbabwe have secured a pre-tournament friendly. On behalf of the News and Current Affairs Department here at Radio Chimwemwe, this has been Simon Powanga. Good afternoon.
Catch the latest news,
the best program,
freshest voices,
and the hottest music.
All day, every day.
Find us on 91.7 FM. Radio Chimwemwe.
A joyous voice.